What's going on, and welcome into Pels and Whistles, presented by Bet Online, right here on the Believe Network. I'm Daniel Salerson alongside Rel Myers. Maybe I should say, maybe Rel should say it. It's Trigger! How was that? Was that pretty good?
It was not too bad. We'll see. Leave it in the comments, guys. Let us know how it was.
Oh, I don't want the comment. I'm not going to look at the comments. It was pretty bad. It's
I'm
okay.
gonna look.
Rel can do it at any moment too. But of course, that's got to be the theme of our podcast today. What a win for the Pelicans last night as they split
Yeah.
the weekend, defeating the Portland Trailblazers last night, 127-110. And I yell that because how about Trigger Trey? 41 points, 9 3-pointers. What else can I say? 13 to 20 from the field, 9 of 14 from downtown, add 7 rebounds as well. What didn't Trey do last night? I mean, what a phenomenal performance. A big time game for him, a much needed win for the Pelicans. Of course, Rel, you were there and witnessed everything that went down. I mean, what was it like in there last night?
It was like witnessing history, Like once you hit maybe like the third three or so, things start to get a little bit hype in there. So by the time he gets to like his sixth one or his seventh one, it's like, all right now, where's this headed? So it was a lot of fun. It was probably the best atmosphere we've had in there in maybe a month or so, at least a few weeks. So yeah, it was a good time, and it was Pride Night, and uh the entertainment was fun. There was an artist that performed in halftime that had a lot of people talk. Not halftime, during the timeout. There's an artist that performed
Okay.
during one of the timeouts that had a lot of conversation brewing amongst the fans. But it was a fun night overall.
I was about to say, because Big Frida was
Yeah, Big
halftime,
Frida did
right?
halftime. Yeah, yeah. So that was fun.
Well, it was good to see that they did have Pride Night this year for the Pelicans, and good to see the turnout that they had last night in that big
Hmm.
win. And look, I feel like not only for Trey, but for this Pelicans team, that was a big confidence booster last night. I don't care about the opponent. I don't care that Portland is right there with the Pelicans, no matter what direction the Trailblazers are going.
Hmm.
So you needed that win. You cannot end that part of the homestand going 1-2 in your last three. You needed to get that one, and so I just think from an offensive standpoint, when you haven't seen the offense being as productive as you can,
Hmm.
especially with Brandon Ingram out, you needed a night like that, especially getting ready for by far the biggest game of the year on Tuesday against the Lakers. And I can't understate that enough. Um, how much of a game that's going to be on Tuesday because you need that one big time in
Yeah.
order to creep your way up the standings and avoid losing a tiebreaker to the Lakers. And look, even with that win last night, you're on the outside looking in technically with a
Still.
three-way tie with Utah and LA. So just I'm so happy for Trey and what he's been able to do because you've seen these outbursts from him. You know
Hmm.
his potential, and now you're starting to see what this potential really could be for him. Um, Especially with a full complement of players on the court. You're not even having BI and Zion out there that will take away a lot of the attention from Trey Murphy. So
Yeah.
just an unbelievable performance. What did you see from him as far as just the confidence that I'm sure you saw with each 3-pointer he made?
He he had showed very little hesitation last night, and that's what you like to see. Like, we know that if it's going up, it's a pretty good chance that it's going in. So to see him catch the ball and immediately he's looking at the rim and he's ready to shoot it, I loved it. I want to see more of that, But and I don't know if Portland just didn't read the scouting report or what, but even if they're sending somebody out there at him, he's like, whatever, it's too late. I'm shooting it because I'm like 6'16" at this point. So he's just shooting over everybody. It didn't matter. So yeah, I love to see the confidence. I love to see the guys celebrate him. And he even tried to catch a body last night. I think he tried to dunk on either Nurkic or one of the other bigs over there. Nurkic was out there looking like 2018 playoffs. Nurkic, he was getting tossed around. So it was it was awesome just to see them having fun, and like Willie says, they were playing with joy again. So we definitely need that momentum going into Tuesday. So hopefully Bi will suit up for a bit of a revenge game against his former team. I was really shocked to see that he didn't play this weekend,
Yeah.
but
He
it
has to
is
suit
what it
up on
is.
Tuesday,
He's
right? Like
got
he
to.
has to.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't played in a week at that point because what he
Mhm.
rolled his ankle on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I thought that with us having a couple days off and having a back to back, he would play one of the games this past weekend, but not both. But I wasn't expecting him to miss both, so that hurt a little bit. But I'm just glad that we didn't drop both of those games, and I think maybe it
Yeah.
evens things out a little bit that we won on Wednesday and ended up losing on Saturday. So, because I wasn't expecting to win that one on Wednesday, so it kind of evens things out a little bit. But yeah, Tuesday is massive, and I think you said it was a three-way. It's actually a four-way tie. Utah's in there too, but I mean Utah's got the tiebreaker against us. But those four teams all have the same record, 33-35.
So yeah, with only 14 games to go, there's little margin of error for this ball club, especially with these games being at home. And now begins a stretch for the Pelicans. Lakers, Rockets twice, Spurs, and Hornets. So if you want to take advantage of the schedule, we talked about it last week when
Mm-hmm.
it was before the weekend hit, that this stretch of games is where you need to take advantage and make a little bit of a run, make a little bit of push. Here it is. 5 in a row, a massive game against the Lakers, and then you have the Rockets and the Spurs and the Hornets, all four teams that have been eliminated. I think Hornets are technically not eliminated from playoff
Yeah,
contention
not
yet,
yet.
but they're mentally eliminated from playoff contention right
Mentally
now.
eliminated.
So the Rockets twice, Spurs, Hornets, you got to win them all.
You have
There's
to.
no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You have to win them all. So if you
Yeah.
get tomorrow against the Lakers, and especially this is a, I hate to say it, a pretty decent Lakers squad. I mean, they've improved since the last time we've seen
Yeah.
this team through some trades. Yes, you will not have LeBron James there, but Anthony Davis is playing some really good basketball. So
Mhm.
you can't just show up and go, "All right, this is going to be fine." No LeBron James. No,
Yeah.
they're still winning ball games. They're still beating some pretty solid teams. So
Mhm.
the atmosphere needs to be great, which I expect it would be anytime the Lakers come around. But yeah, I can't stress enough, and I'm sure you feel the same way, how important Tuesday is. But I still think that last night, I mean, you had Herb hit a couple threes, you had CJ hit, I think, 4 threes. Josh Richardson off the bench
Yeah.
connected on 4 threes as well. He had 19 points.
That's
Like
wild.
you had a lot of contributions, 19 of 40 from three. And that's the biggest part of this team that's been struggling, I think, is the
Mhm.
3-point shooting. And so the fact that you got it, I think Trey kind of sparked all of that for the Pelicans. So
Yeah.
I'm just happy that it wasn't just a win; it was a confidence boosting win for this Pelican squad.
Yeah, I think sometimes when guys see other guys out there cooking and getting it, they're like, I want to get in on some of that action too. And so they were just playing with confidence, shooting with confidence. And our wings were so active in the passing lanes. We had at least five steals in the first quarter. Herb and Josh were just all over the place. And so my friend Colleen has started calling them the triplets, Herb, Josh, and Trey. The triplets are in the game. So I don't know if she coined that nickname, but that's what we started to call them. But um, yeah, they look really good last night, and they almost look unrecognizable from the game just the night before. Like I wish they played with that same energy against OKC because they'd have blown them out of the water, just like the Blazers. So, it probably did help us a little bit that they didn't have Dame, and I thought that Jeremy Grant would have an awesome night. Um, but he ended up what did he have, like an eye laceration or something? He said that his eye was nearly like swollen
Mm,
shut, but he came back in the game. So
yeah,
I don't know. I actually
swollen eye.
I was doing some weird things last night. I put in a very strange parlay yesterday.
Oh boy, what'd
I
you do now?
decided I decided I'm gonna really test the universe and test this theory out. I bet 10 whole dollars on this same game parlay where it was Portland money line. Dame was gonna have 30 points. Okay, because I put this in hours before we found out that
Hmm.
he wasn't gonna play. And that Jeremy Grant was gonna have 20 points. So Portland win, Damian 30 points, Jeremy 20 points. None of those
So you
things
just gave
happened.
away
I
$10.
gave away $10 for the greater good of the Pelicans fan base because we needed that win. So I sacrificed my $10. Donations are welcome. The link's on my link tree.
The sacrifices Rel makes for this team is just
Yep.
undeniable. It's unbelievable. Very
Yep.
good, Rel. And of course, she's been using Bet Online, which remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from pro and college basketball, of course, March Madness. The bracket is out. We'll talk about that in a second, even though I think Rel doesn't want to. You got USC, MMA, NHL, and more. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at Bet Online with live betting options, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. Bet Online is truly the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite leagues and events. Head to the website today. Use your mobile device to join and receive 50% off welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts. So Rel's filled out her bracket, and her champion is. No, I'm just kidding. Rel's not filled out a bracket.
Duke. I'm gonna pick Duke.
Okay.
I'll pick Duke.
All right. So Rel picks Duke. We have a little, March Madness thing for the Believe Network, so we'll have some bragging rights. Rel is so hesitant about filling out a bracket, even though I feel like, again, anyone can fill out a bracket and win this thing because it's so
Yeah.
unpredictable. So I'm encouraging Rel to fill it out so that Pels and Whistles can represent in the company wide bracket pool for Believe Network. So if anyone wants to help Rel, since Rel doesn't want to do it, just contact her
I'll
and split
figure
the
something out.
winnings.
How much time do
You're
I have to get this done? I didn't even look at any of that
Yeah, till
info.
Thursday.
I'll think about it.
That's 4 days,
I'll think
including
about it.
today.
I mean,
So lazy.
how long does it take to like do these things, right? You just pick either or, but how many rounds is it? I don't even know.
Oh, boy. We don't have a lot of time on the show to go through what NCAA. Is this your first time watching the tournament?
Hey, NBA till I die. I haven't watched college religious. Well, I wouldn't even say I watched it religiously. I watched two teams. Someone this morning actually told me that I should become an LSU baseball fan because they're like unanimous number one, and they're doing great things. And I was like, I gotta be honest, I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna cheer you
Just
guys on. You cheer them on.
someone just telling you, "Hey, jump on a bandwagon. Plenty of room."
Yeah, yeah. They were like, it'll be a much better fan experience for you, and I'm like, not really. I'm not gonna know any of these players. I'm not gonna know any of their backstory, none of their nicknames. It's not gonna be the same, you
Part of
know.
being a fan of a team is the journey because there's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, and there's
Yeah.
probably been more downs than ups,
I
depending
can't
on
just
the
enter
team.
the chat right now while they're doing
Yeah.
good.
That's like, I'm gonna be a Yankees fan. They've won 26 rings, so I'm just gonna start buying Yankee gear and world champs
Yeah.
every
What
year
if
and
I
all
bring
that
bad
stuff.
luck? I can't do that.
Yeah, then you're just gonna make people mad.
See? This set me up, man. But anyhow,
Yeah.
back to the NBA.
Back to our champions, the New Orleans Pelicans,
That's
riding a
right.
one-game winning streak, even though it's
That's
not a
right.
winning streak unless you win one or more. But anyway, it's still a big win for them. You got Larry Nance back. I loved his tweet that said that he and Trey combined for 43 points last
Yep.
night. So props to Larry. Larry's so great,
He's
especially
awesome.
what he did with the spaces and with the military
Yeah.
appreciation. I mean, those are I have no words for Larry because
Yeah.
it's just a veteran move for what he's been doing and interacting with fans. I mean, how many NBA players will go on to spaces and take criticism, take
Yeah.
questions, take advice? Like,
Very
no one
few.
does that. Very few.
Very few.
Larry might
Yeah.
be the only one.
Yeah. I've seen some other I want to say was campaign probably went into a space and said some crazy stuff to some fans one time, and he's just like, I guess, defending himself for talking trash about another team and beating them, and they told him, this is recorded, right? And so then he kind of changed his tune a little bit.
Yeah.
But like a lot of guys aren't like, they're not setting up things, days in advance with people and being like, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna talk, and then you get a suggestion to do something and he goes above and beyond and does two times more than you would have even expected him to think about doing. So yeah, no, Larry's awesome. I was glad to see him back out there last night. He got in a little bit of early foul trouble. I think the refs were hating on him, but yeah, we
Is he
that
going to go
was
Fred Van Vliet on him and just call out?
that was amazing, and I would love to see more guys take that route. I mean, it seems like Ben Taylor's got a bone to pick with Fred Van Vliet, so I'm glad he spoke up. I think a lot of people were happy that he said something.
Since you love to tweet out the referees for the game,
Yeah.
do you have a beef right now with anyone that you want to call out right here on Pels
I
and Whistles?
mean, Bill Kennedy is still. We haven't seen him since Kennedy Gate. We haven't seen him
Since
since
that
that
out of
day.
bounds play, not the out of
Ye-
bounds play, is that was Kevin Scott, which I think he
oh,
should be
that
on
one,
there
yeah.
too.
No,
Yeah.
Bill Kennedy called that 5-second violation
Yep.
on
Oh
Dyson.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
I mean, Bill Kennedy's not. He's probably still one of the more competent ones
Yeah.
overall, but he's definitely, I will no longer be like, oh hey, Bill Kennedy, look, he's great. Definitely not a fan of Tyler Ford. We had him last night and we stuck it to him. He couldn't do anything to stop us from winning. Um, my homies don't like Josh Tiven. So shout out to Ben and Justin. They don't like Josh Tiven. Ray Acosta, we got problems with him. It's
So
so many people.
So Josh Tiven, because I saw something on Twitter that now that apparently you have to bounce pass it to him in order to
Oh
not get a
my
technical. He's
gosh.
the one that teed
I
up
didn't realize that was
JJ
him.
Redick for the spin. You remember that
That was
one?
him
Like,
too?
that was him, and then the
Oh,
one a couple days ago, who was it that threw him just a regular pass?
embarrassing.
Was this
Jordan Poole?
Yeah, Jordan Poole. And
Man.
teed him up, and he was like he knew it, like, right through, he's like, "What? I just gave you the ball." So, nice bounce pass to Josh Tiven, and you're okay.
Gosh.
But if you try to spin it
Yeah,
like
don't put
JJ
any
did,
English on it, you know?
yeah. Or just
What
don't
a
give him the ball,
mess.
just give it to another ref and make him do it.
That's a
But,
mess.
maybe we should have more podcast wars like Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green, you know? Should we
Maybe.
just start some beef with, another podcast and see what happens?
Perhaps.
Maybe Lamar
Maybe.
Odom in the
Who's it gonna
Lakers one?
be? Believe in Mavs. Alex, we're
Believe
coming for you.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go for our producer, that's the great best way to
Yeah.
go.
Charity Stripe. That's his other show. We're coming for you, buddy.
Yeah. All right, so the trash talk, that's our trash talk, by the way. As you see, we're very good at it, and we can't be stopped when it comes to that. So, what else? Anything else sticking out to you as far as the NBA? Obviously, the Beam
Uh,
team is continuing to play
yeah.
very well in Sacramento, holding down the 2 seed in the West, I believe, as of right now. Haven't really caught up with the updates, games besides what the Pelicans are doing, but
Yeah.
uh, in the Nuggets have been, I think, 9.5 point favorites in their last 3 home games and have lost all three. Bulls, Spurs, and they just lost to the Brooklyn Nets last night.
They got no business losing to the Spurs, you know? And
No.
it's just and us going into Houston, we can't just treat them like, oh, you guys don't want to win, so we're just gonna take a couple nights off. We gotta take those guys seriously. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with Denver. And I know a lot of people are starting to point out Jokic's defense specifically. And I saw some clips put together just from it must have been the Spurs game or just one of those games they lost recently. But these guys are running layup lines out there. Like Jokic is like, oh, and then he just moves out of the way. He's like, I'm gonna defend you. Just kidding. I'm gonna move. I don't. That's not really helping his case. Giannis could
He's too
sneak up.
busy stat padding. I'm just kidding.
Giannis could sneak up and snatch that MVP or Joel Embiid or something. You
I
know,
think it's gonna be Joel.
he's got to step it up on defense. So it could be one of those situations where everyone's been talking about him getting MVP
Mm.
so much that he thinks that it's just kind of a shoe in, and he's kind of they've got enough of a lead where he thinks maybe he can relax. I'm not sure, but yeah, I haven't been paying too much attention around the league. Um, Curious to see, how the Grizzlies continue to fare without Ja, which historically they've been okay without him playing. Um, but yeah, I don't
Still
know
have
too much
Steven
about.
Adams though, so that's I
Oh
think hurting them
yeah,
too.
yeah, he's out. I want to say as of
Like another
last week, he's out for another month.
Yeah, I know they're
So
reevaluating him in a couple weeks, I think. So I think it's gonna be
yeah,
like a month total, once
so
they get to that 2 weeks at least. So it's gonna be interesting for them to see how long. Morant was another 4 games, that was dating back to last week. So what
mhm,
are they gonna do once that 4 games is expired? Do they sit him out a little
yeah,
longer? I'm not even gonna say anything because
yeah.
I
Who
don't.
knows?
Who knows? And
Yeah,
it's really not our place to be the ones that say how long he should be out, just depending on how he's handling everything right now. So,
yeah.
but you
I'll let
do
the
you do
professionals handle it.
exactly. But I think you did make a great point that with these next 5 games for the Pelicans, with 4 of them being against teams that are out of it, those can also be dangerous. They're games that you need to win, you should win. But these teams that have nothing to play for sometimes tend the ball out, and especially
Yeah.
against teams in your division. Like the Rockets playing 2 games against the Pelicans, they have nothing to lose but to go out and have these young guys just be like, I'm going to put up points. I'm going to put up my numbers. And
Yeah.
Charlotte almost took it to Cleveland last night. It took a fourth quarter comeback for Cleveland to beat Charlotte. You saw what the Spurs just did against Denver. Like these teams are not, when we talk about tanking, it's not
Mhm.
that they're going out there and like not putting any effort in and
Yeah.
trying to lose. It's the players that they put out there that are just not as talented and are younger
Mhm.
players, and they're just seeing what they have. And they're going all out because a lot of these guys are playing for next year.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys are playing for contracts.
Yep.
Think of a guy like Devontae Graham, who's going to be playing for
Mhm.
another contract
I was just
that's
thinking about him.
expiring. He's he's using these games to, ball out. And
Doesn't he's got we signed him to a 4-year, I think. We signed him to a 4-year and we traded him like a year and a half into it. I'm pretty
oh,
sure
so
he was on like
Josh's is expiring. That's
yeah,
why.
Josh
Yeah,
is expiring. Right.
Devontae has another year. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
So he's got
So,
some
but
time left on that.
But yeah, I mean, and this is incentive for Josh too, for our end.
Mhm.
Nights like last night, you 19 points, you had 4 steals, you had 4 threes. I mean,
Love it.
that's a reason why a team should go after him, you know? So,
You're
uh
auditioning.
yeah, so we can't, this is the NBA and there's no, gimme games. You would
Right.
like to think of it as one and hopefully they play well enough where it is 2 gimme games, but 2 road games too. You can easily just split those.
Yep.
It's just it's so easy to do and you definitely do not want to split those. You have to win both of them. All those
For
4
sure.
games are must wins. And so you
I
lose
need
one of
it.
them, you're going to look back at the end of the year and go, especially with all those teams clumped together and go, man, if we just would have won that Charlotte game, or
Yep.
if we would have won one of those Houston games. And so hopefully the OKC game is not one that comes back and bites you. But still, you feel very good about what happened yesterday.
Mhm.
But now the big test comes tomorrow against the Lakers, and if they can come out with this win, it'll be huge and give
Yeah.
them the momentum they need to face this little bit of the soft schedule before it gets a lot tougher before the season ends.
Yeah. I'm just gonna remain hopeful. Like
Okay.
Willie always says when they ask, "Oh, we're hopeful about this, we're hopeful about that." I'm gonna remain hopeful, and I think just stringing together a couple consecutive wins, that'll really go a long way. We haven't had consecutive wins since we ended that 10-game losing streak, so it would help out tremendously for us to help ourselves first, because we always find ourselves in these situations where we're watching the standings, and for once I'd like to just kind of be in charge of our own destiny, right? So hopefully, what are we looking at, another week or so until they reevaluate Zion again, is that the word?
Who knows?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
remember. I don't remember what they said. They said he'd miss an additional 2 weeks, and
And
that
that
was
came
on Wednesday,
to
Tuesday,
yeah.
some one of those days.
They
So
played the Mavs on Wednesday.
yeah,
And was
it
it
was
during the Mavs
somewhere
before
around
the Mavs
there.
game they announced that?
It must have been before that game. It was either
Yeah.
Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. So
Either way,
this middle of the week, we're at a week.
when they get
Next
back
week,
from
we'll see.
Houston,
Hmm.
we should at
Yeah.
least have an
So
idea.
definitely won't be looking for him to. I won't be looking to get an update on Tuesday when on the day they play San Antonio. So maybe Wednesday next week, get another update, see what's happening. Not, I haven't heard anything about where he's at as far as um ramping up. I don't know if he's, back to 3-on-3s or whatever have you. Not really sure. So I guess I'll just wait, and I tell people,
Hmm.
because they're saying, like, the fact that they said he'd be out an additional 2 weeks, or he'd be reevaluated in 2 weeks. They're like, that's good news. And I'm like, it'll be good news when they say that he's upgraded to available. That's when it'll be good news. Until then, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad news to say he's got to be reevaluated, but I just need a little bit more info aside
Yeah.
from, oh, we're gonna check back.
Yeah, that's what, or at least say in those 3 weeks, alright, he's resumed on court activities,
Yeah,
and now it
something.
should be another whatever so and so before he's back on the court. But I don't think they're ever gonna give that timeline based on everything that happened with
No,
the
you
foot.
just can't.
I think timelines for them are not gonna happen anymore.
You
It's gonna
can't.
be day by day, wait and see, look at the injury report and wait for him to be questionable, and
Hmm.
then upgrade to the probable on another game, and that's how it's gonna go. You're not gonna see
Yeah.
after the 2 weeks, you're not gonna say, "He's gonna be back in a week," because we've seen how that has gone with this team as far as listing a timetable. They're not
Hmm.
gonna put themselves in a position to do that, so
Nope. So people are going
we'll
to be
see.
upset when they don't get a timetable, but they're also going to be upset when they get
Tough.
one and they don't meet that timetable. So you're
Exactly.
in a tough spot.
No stress
But
not saying anything.
yeah.
Wait till they're ready. Just wait till he's
Yeah,
ready.
I get it. I
Obviously, give
think
an update, but as long as they're
yeah.
saying that his hamstring is looking good, that's
Mhm.
what you wanna see, and then the rest of it's just gonna be his strength and conditioning getting back. So,
Yeah.
once you hear the hamstring is healed or is ready to go, then at least you should feel good. Then it's alright when Zion's comfortable getting back out there and getting back on the court, then
Mhm.
we'll see what happens, but I'm sure there'll be a minute restriction when he gets back. Hopefully, it's
Yeah,
not the burst
definitely.
that we saw in the first year. Hopefully, it's just a little longer than that. So,
No, no burst.
um,
It'll be a minute restriction. I would be extremely surprised if there was no minute restriction. I'd also be surprised if Jonas wasn't on the injury report for tomorrow. I saw he had a little bit of a scare. It looked like he had an issue with his knee. I'm not saying I don't think he's going to play, but I feel like he's probably going to be on there at least as a questionable,
yeah.
just based on history.
Well, they have off today, no practice after a back to back, so a chance for all of them to get some rest, shoot
Nice.
around tomorrow. And then good thing is after the Lakers, you have 2 days off before you play
Yeah.
Houston on Friday. And that's where you'll see Rel on
Yeah.
Friday and Sunday against the Rockets. So if you're there, go say hi. I've seen Rel on the road. I
Yeah.
remember last year, Memphis.
I'm a
Rel's
globetrotter. I like to get out there on the road.
yeah, you do. And so make sure you say hi. We're going to have another podcast for you on Wednesday. We feel like that's the best time
Mhm.
reacting to Lakers and Pelicans. Hopefully, it is a win for the Pelicans. And then we'll get you ready for the weekend where we'll give you her guide to Houston before she makes her way. And then next week, back at it as well. So, another one for you on Wednesday. Again, Lakers and Pelicans tomorrow at the Smoothie King Center. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're loud. And hopefully, it's another win for the Pelicans. But a good start to the week after last night's win over the Portland Trailblazers. Shout out to Trey Murphy, 41 points, nine threes.
Yes.
And yeah, we're done. That'll
We're
do it
done.
for us. Big thanks to Rel as always. Thanks for you all listening. Again, rate, subscribe, whatever you need to do. Tell our bosses that you like to listen to us. Until Wednesday, I'm Daniel Salerson. Thanks for listening to Pels and Whistles presented by Bet Online right here on the Believe Network.